Greetings, friend. I will show you two Sudoku strategies that will reduce your solve time, although one of them is a little controversial. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go, and with that, it's solving time. In order to start solving these, we got to gain some information from this puzzle. Check out block 7 here. You got these two ones in columns 1 and 2. We can solve this cell for a 1. And now with this one, we only have two possibilities for a 1 in block 8. So what I just did is called Snyder notation. Anytime a 3 by 3 block, you have two possibilities. You mark them. In case you solve one cell, you'll solve the other right away. Snyder's going to be helpful for us in solving this puzzle, but that's not one of the two strategies. All right, let's look at the ones up here. You got two possibilities in block 3. Let's look at these twos now. You got these twos here. There's only one place for a 2. So actually, if you put the 2 right here, that displaces this Snyder mark, and we can make a solve pretty quickly there. And with these 2s, only two places for a 2 in block 6. And then we can look over in block 7. You got these 2s in rows 7 and 9. Two possibilities for 2. So I'll mark that. All right, let's move on to the 3s. In the 3s, you have these two 3s and these two 3s. Only one place to put a 3 in block 3. And then if you look down column 3 down block 4, where can the 3 go, right? Can't go here because of this 3. Can't go here because of this 3. So this cell has to be a 3. And so then we'll mark what's remaining, a 7, 9 naked pair in column 3. And with these two 3s, we have two possibilities for a 3 here in block 7. And then with these two 3s, two possibilities in block 8. And we can come up here and we're just going to mark this 4, 9 naked pair. If you're new to this channel, I want to welcome you to Smart Hobbies. Please consider subscribing and liking if you find value in this content. Let's check out these 4s. You got two 4s here in rows 8 and 9. That means this cell has to be a 4, which displaces our Snyder 3, displacing that Snyder 2. And now we only have one cell remaining in block 7. So that actually has to be a 9. Now that we solve that 3, you can displace the Snyder mark right here and solve this cell for a 3. And with this 3 and these two 3s, you can solve for a 3 right there. And we solved all 3s in the puzzle. And then with this 2 here, we can put two possibilities for a 2 in block 4. After doing that, we can finish up with these 4s. You got these two 4s, two possibilities for 4 in block 6. And now we can look for the 5s here. Okay, if you look across row 3, you have a 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. We're missing a 1, 5, and a 9. Well, we have a 1 right here, and we have this 9 that sees this cell. This is a naked single 5, so we can mark that. And we can put a 1, 9 naked pair. I'll come back to that here in just a second. With these 5s, you have two possibilities for 5 in block 6. And then with the 6s, these two 6s, you have two possibilities for 6 in block 8. And with the 7s, you have this 7 and this 7. Two possibilities for 7 right there. So I'll make that mark in block 2. And then in block 9 with these two 7s and this 7, two possibilities. So just gaining more information as we get closer to figuring out what's going to be in these cells. Now look at the 8s. So this 8 and these two 8s. Two possibilities for an 8 here in block 9. And then in block 4, because of this 8 and this 8, two possibilities for an 8 right there. So there's a lot of Snyder marks, a lot of conjugate pairs I call them when you have two possibilities in the Snyder marks. Because if this either that's an 8 or that's going to be an 8, that's going to come into play with our strategies. Okay, let's come back to this cell here. You might notice if you look down column 4, where can a 1 go? Well, it can't go here or here because of these ones. And it can't go here or here because of these ones. And then it can't go here because of this one. We can actually solve this cell. This is the only place left in block 3, actually in column 4, where it can be a 1. So that's a 1 and that's a 9. And you're going to love this next pointing pair combo once we put that 9 right there. Because of this 9 cutting across and this 9 coming up, we have two possibilities for a 9 in block 2. And whenever you have the pair like this in the same row and block, this is a pointing pair. It means it can't be anywhere else along the row. So the 9s are restricted in row 2 to block 1, because if you put a 9 somewhere else, like right here, you'd have no place to put a 9 in block 1. So this pointing pair allows us to remove the 9 from right there, solve this cell for 4, and solve this cell for 9, but we're not done. Now, if you take this 9 and come down here, you end up with another pointing pair of 9s. You put the 9s right there, because there are only 2 possibilities. And with that, in this 9, we can actually solve for a 9 now in block 8. You'll find neat tricks like this in my members only reward puzzle packs. For a limited time, I'm offering all my previous puzzle packs for free to Smarty Party members. Just click on the link in the pinned comment to join the Smarty Party today. Okay, after making this, we can do some more solving here. We can solve this cell for an 8 because that's the only thing remaining in row 7. And then this 4 displaces this Snyder 4. It allows us to solve for 4 here, displacing that Snyder 5. Okay, and then what you might notice is if you look across row 4, where can a 9 go? Well, it can't go here because of this 9, and it can't go here because of these 9s, and it can't go here because of this 9. So the 9s are now a claiming pair. They have to be somewhere in row 4, but they're restricted to block 6. So we're going to make that claim pair. This cell can no longer be a 9. That's the key. And let's do some more solves here. You got this 4 and now this 4. We can solve for 4 in block 2. And then in block 5 with these 2 4s and these 2 4s, we can solve for 4 right here. And this is going to give us a 7, 8 naked pair across row 1, which is going to be critical. And then let's look at these 2s, all right? You got the 2s here in block 6. You got the 2s here in block 4. Now in block 5, where can a 2 be? Well, because of these 2s, and now because of that 4, the 2s are limited here. So I want to show you another neat trick here. You notice that the 2s in blocks 4 and 5 are limited to the same 2 rows, rows 4 and 6. This is called a mini X-wing, is what Simon Anthony and Mark Goodliffe call it. What it means is since the 2s are limited to those 2 rows in those 2 blocks, the third block in this band or belt, the 2 has to be in row 5, right? Because we have to have a 2 in row 5 somewhere. So whenever you see this mini X-wing, you know the 2's going to be there and there, there and there. This has to be your 2 in row 5. That can no longer be a 2. So we can solve this cell now for a 2. I'll get rid of these blue colors. All right. And what that does for us is creates a 6, 7, 9 naked triple. So I'll mark the 6, 7, 9 naked triple, get rid of some of those extra marks, but we're not done yet. If you find value in these types of tricks I'm showing you, please consider buying me a coffee through the link in the description, or you can just give me a super thanks through YouTube. I really appreciate it. I invest all this money back into the channel. And now the first moment you've been waiting for, let's solve this red cell. There's 2 ways to go about this. I'm going to go what I think is the more elegant way, and it kind of hints at the name of this puzzle. We want to look for single candidate strategies. Let's start with the 7s. Okay, where can the 7s be? Well, it can be in these spots here, these 2 7s, taking advantage of that Snyder notation I already made, these spots, and these 2 7s right there. Mark all that in blue. The red cell is what we want to solve, right? You can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the row. We can see a 9 in the column. This can be a 6, 7, or an 8. So now using the 7s, can we make any kind of eliminations in here or help us out? And the answer is yes. What you want to look at is look here in block 1. You notice how we have a conjugate pair of 7s, which means there's only 2 7s in row 1, right? And so conjugate pair is simple. If either this is a 7, it's not a 7, that's a 7. So they rely on each other to find the value in that row. So we have a conjugate pair coming out of block 1 in the row. Do we have a conjugate pair coming out of the block 1 in the column? And the answer is yes, right here. And so you have another conjugate pair, right? Either that's 7 or that's a 7 in column 3. Well, the neat part is since we have one block, a conjugate pair out of the row, a conjugate pair out of the column, if this is a 7, then we know that any cell that sees it can't be a 7. Pretty simple. But if this is not a 7, that forces a 7 right here, eliminating a 7 in this spot, and puts a 7 right there. And so any cell that sees that would no longer be a 7. So there's only two possibilities about the 7 in this case. Either this is a 7 or it's not. And either way, you got a 7 here or here. So any cell that sees both of these, you can eliminate a 7. This is called a Sudoku two-string kite. And so like this is kind of the head of the kite, and these are like the wings of the kite. So it means a 7 can never be right there. If you try to put a 7 there, you'll see pretty quickly both these can't be 7s, and then you'd have to have a 7 for row 1 here and a 7 for column 3 here. That would break the puzzle. Okay, if you found something different at this point, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And now, since this puzzle is called Periodicità, which I believe means regular intervals, we're going to do another two-string kite. Let's remove these colors. I'll get rid of all the blue, and I'll get rid of all the orange because I don't want to lose that. And now we got to figure out, is this going to be a 6 or an 8? Let's try the 8. I just feel like going up, it might be a better thing to do here. All right, where can the 8s be in this puzzle? And we got 8s there. All right. So remove all those 8s. And now let's look up here in our same block 1. Do I see a conjugate pair coming out of the row? I sure do. Do we see one coming out of the column? Yes, we do. Right here in column 1 instead of column 3. So either an 8's here, and any cell that sees it can't be an 8. If it's not here, that would have to be an 8. This can't be. And then this would be an 8. Any cell that sees these two, we can eliminate an 8, which is our same row 5, column 5, our red cell. I love this genius double strategy by Yoshi Baroshi. You know that he only takes about an hour to create his puzzle, sometimes even less than that. Usually he has an idea in mind and he just fits the grid to go around that idea. And then if he doesn't really like it, he'll look to refine it with some alternate type paths. But initially he started out, it took him hours and days. But thank you so much, Yoshi, for being my Friday featured setter. Let's get rid of the colors that are the blue, and let's get rid of the orange. And now we can solve this for a 6. Okay, we're going to work our way now to the green cell in this other controversial strategy that I was talking about. Because you got a 6 right there, you can displace that Snyder 6, solve this cell for a 6. And now, this 6 cutting across, you can solve for a 6 right here. It allows us to solve for a 7 right there. That's going to be a 9. That's going to be a 6. Okay, this 9 displaces the Snyder 9, so we know we can solve this cell for a 9. And now with these two 8s, we can solve for an 8 right here. And with this 7, you can solve for the 7 right there, which leaves us with a 5. Awesome. We have a 1, 5 naked pair right there, and we're going to fill that out. And so we made a lot of good solves there. And again, we need to set up our next strategy. And so let's look here in columns 4, 5, and 6. Okay, whenever you have a 3x3 block that's vertical, that's called a tower or a band. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So this could be a 5, 8, 9. That can't be an 8. That can't be a 5. And that can't be a 9. We got right here, it looks like a 1, 5, 7, 8 in block 5. So I got a 5, 7. So that's a 1, 8 here. And this is going to be a 5, 7. Okay. And if you look here, looks like we need a 1, 2, 5, 7. I got a 1, 2 in row 2. So that's a 5, 7. And this is a 1, 2. And this is a 2, 5, 7, our green cell. Okay, if we can make an elimination here, we're going to be able to make some more progress in the puzzle. Now, what I want you to notice is right here, you have 2, 6, 7. Not a big deal. But you notice that a 7 can be one of these values here, right? You look right here, notice that this is a 5, 7 BVC bi-value cell that I call it. And in the 5, 7, it's in a different block in a different column. Well, if you look up here in the third column, in the third block that we were looking at, you also have another 5, 7. These have a peculiar relationship here. Because basically, think about what if these were both a 5? We made both those a 5. Since the value here can never be a 5, well, this 5 means that you'd eliminate the 5 right there, and this 5, you eliminate the 5 right there. You'd have no place to put a 5. So we know these both can't be 5s. This is a W-wing delta variant, and it tells us that at least one of those orange cells has to be a 7. And the reason this is controversial is normally W-wings, first of all, require a conjugate pair that connects these two BVCs. You're not going to find it here. It doesn't exist. But you can still make eliminations because of the logic I just showed you. The second controversy is this strategy really has nothing to do with the name of the puzzle. So I think Yoshi intended you to do some more two-string kites. There's also other advanced strategies, skyscraper, maybe an X-wing in there. Check it out. Let me know what you found. And so I'm going to take a little shortcut here because I think this is the most powerful one that'll help us solve this puzzle quicker. Because what it does is it eliminates 7 from right there, but more importantly, it eliminates a 7 from this cell right here. And what can we do about that? We can remove these colors and make some more solving. Learn more about W-wings in this tutorial. But now the only place for a 7 in block 5 is right here. So we can solve the 7 here. Displacing that 7, solve for a 7 right there. 8 there. We can solve for the 7 right there. And we can solve for the last 7 right here. Let's check out these 8s, right? We just solved for an 8 right there. And now we can solve for the 8 right here. And with these two 8s, we can solve for the 8 right there. And with these two 8s, we can solve for an 8 right there. Displacing this 9 or 9. Let's solve these 9s. We've got the 9 right here. This is so smooth the way Yoshi does this. And then with this 9, we can solve for the 9 right here. And then we can solve for a 9 right there. Let's look at the 1s now, all right? You know this has to be a 1 because of this 8, which means that has to be a 1. And we got all the 1s. Can we do the 2s? We sure can, because now we displace that Snyder 2, which means this can't be a 2 anymore. That's got to be your 2, which solves this cell for a 5. Awesome. All right, and now we can finish these 5s. That's a 5, that's a 5, leaving these last two cells to be a 6. Watch this next video to discover more Sudoku strategies to reduce your solve time. Thank you so much for watching.